Okay, hi everybody. We are busy tonight. We're gonna do another installment of our
Days
life.
of Our Lives.
Now, what is our name of our thing?
Uh, what was it?
Never give up.
Hang on.
Hang on and
Never give up.
never give up.
See?
We'll rename it 10 times before it's over, I'm
Well,
sure.
You know,
Anyways,
we're new at this.
so here we go. This is
Can you like walk and talk at the same time?
I'm just trying to. I don't know. Maybe I can't.
I know you're not coordinated.
Okay, so this is us. Tonight we're gonna talk about our first date.
Yeah, I touched on it the other day, a little bit, but basically we had the day off together, and I revisited the idea of going out together, and she said yes. Obviously,
Yes,
we're still here.
we're here, aren't we?
And so I don't know who said it. She said it. I said it. Doesn't really matter who said what. But originally we were planning on going to the beach. Go figure. That's where we're at right now.
It's become our favorite place.
But I forgot, which shouldn't have mattered at the time. At the time it mattered, but it shouldn't have mattered. I had promised my dad that if I had that day off, I would go with him to a farm expo up at Michigan State University. And me being a man of my word, I wasn't going to renege on that. So I called Beck thinking I was going to get a big shutdown, but I'm like, I was kind of stuck. So I called her and I asked her, I told her, this is what I did. This is the kind of predicament that I'm in. And she was like, well, what's an ag expo? And I'm like, it's like a county fair without the rides, pretty much. And so she's like, okay, I'll go. I think that was just moreover just to get out of the house. She was not excited about going to the stupid expo, that's for sure. Because what did you used to say?
I'd never marry a farmer.
Right. She hadn't met me yet.
I hadn't really, yeah.
And so anyway, that was our first date. It was as sad as it was. That was it. I figure, well, if she's gonna stick this out, because that's pretty sad. But anyway, so that's what we did. We went up to Michigan State with my parents. We didn't stay with them. We got there and then we split up because there was no way I was gonna walk around with them. But I don't remember much of anything we did. I mean,
I remember the pig barn.
we went to pig.
For some reason, we got on a bus and we ended up in a pig barn.
See, I don't remember that. I believe you, but I don't remember that because I've never really been all that interested in hogs. But
Whatever.
But anyway, okay, we went to a pig barn. I know we did other stuff too, and then there was vendors.
Yeah, we looked at tractors.
There was vendors all over. You could walk around and check out the new stuff. They're back. So anyway, we did that, wandered around all the different vendors and whatnot, and then we ended up sitting underneath a shade tree, and we made out for a while. And I think after that it was pretty well.
I taught him how to kiss.
Yeah.
I was good at it. Still am. And guess what? He's good at it too.
So anyway, that was the end of the. No, I won't say the end of the dating, but it was definitely the end of the wondering whether or not this was going to work or not. We pretty much knew after that.
Oh, we definitely had a connection that day.
We were definitely good. Anyway, that was our first date. I don't remember much of anything after that. Obviously, we went home, and I took you home, and I don't really remember much more after that. As far as that
More
particular
kissing.
day. Oh, I'm sure there was definitely.
Lots more kissing.
Yeah, got a chapped mouth. I know that. But yeah,
That's when we went to Cedar Point. We definitely got a sore mouth that night.
yeah, that was another one of those. We did that summer too, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it was that summer.
Yeah.
Same summer we went to Cedar Point. Spent the day. We were
Yeah.
with your sister?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were with your
her
sister.
boyfriend at the time.
I don't want to go towards people. Go that way.
Well, I don't want to walk in the dirt.
Well, I don't want to look towards people.
So
We're goofy enough as it is here.
So anyway, yeah, we went and did Cedar Point and all that stuff. We found that we're pretty much the same as far as the rides go. We're not real big on doing certain things that are just stupid. I mean, we'll do roller coasters and stuff. We don't do round in circles.
I used to. I used to do a lot of round in circles. Yeah, let's go. Let's go that way, back there. We gotta find a place to walk here. A lot of beach. See? This is what a big, huge beach here in Ludington. It's really pretty.
So anyway, we did that, and that's a several-hour drive there and back. So there's a lot of kissing on the way home. I don't know. That was pretty much our first couple of months.
Right?
Nothing real exciting. I mean, not outside the ordinary, except for my
So
lame,
talk about.
my lame first day was pretty lame.
We'll talk about our first weekend when we. Well, I guess that would have been after our date. And
Oh, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so go from the date to
Well,
going back to work because we weren't done working
yeah,
fields
we
work
went-
yet.
Yeah, we went back to work, and
Let's just sit here.
things. We can sit on the bench right
Mm-hmm.
there.
Found a place to sit.
The things was a lot different after that. It was, well, there was one instance where
Let me get you.
Pete,
There.
she needed to
Oh, that's a good place.
get herself to a restroom because what most people don't understand is out in the cornfields, that's where you're at.
Yeah.
There's no bathrooms. There's no. You're in the cornfield, and some of these cornfields can be upwards of 400 acres. So, yeah, you're in the middle of a cornfield, and she needed to get to a restroom. So,
Eventually.
I give her the keys to the car, and said go. And she's like, "Well, I can't take your car." I'm like, "Well, you're gonna have to." And so I give you the keys to the car, and you went to the bathroom, come back, and I think that was pretty much at that point, it was the beginning of me, attempting to take care of you as much as I could.
Right.
I mean, obviously it was slow going because we're both you're finishing high school, I'm getting ready to go to college, and so there was that. But I mean, that was, that was just a natural thing to do. It wasn't like there was much thought in it. It's like, here, it's the keys, go. And you thought about it more than I did. I'm just like, just take the car and go.
Was it my car?
And so, there was that. But then one morning, we were sitting there waiting for everybody to get there, and I don't remember the whole gist of it. But basically, I told her before we got out of the car that I was falling in love with her, and I didn't know. I mean, that's always the thing with guys, right? Should I say it? Shouldn't I say it? I didn't really care. I looked at it this way. I know how I feel. She has a right to know how I feel. I mean, it involves her, so I guess she has a right to know. And I figured, when it is reciprocated, it'll be reciprocated. I really wasn't worried about the reciprocation. So I just said what I said. And we went to work. And I'm like, kind of thinking, that didn't go over quite like I thought. But again, I wasn't worried about it. And you were just out there probably thinking, like, what? Trying to decide whether or not you want to say it.
Yeah. Giving it some thought.
Anyway, we're out in the field, and
So we're on separate crews.
Yeah.
We were both supervisors, as you know from the last video, that we were supervisors, and we had our own crews of kids, and now we're on these great big carriers that have these long booms. He always was walking across them like a trapeze artist. I'm sitting on it, holding on, because I do not have that kind of balance. I'd have been in the cornfield if that had been the case.
Yeah, well, I had a lot of, back then anyway, I had a lot of balance I could pretty much do. But yeah, I'm walking these things. The beams were probably about 3 to 3.5 inches wide, 2x4 width. And then they had buckets that hung down. The kids sit in the buckets and pulled the tassels as they moved through the field. And I'm just walking across, watching the kids and just walking back and forth and stuff, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing and not missing and that kind of thing. And we're headed in opposite directions. I'm headed back towards the road. She's headed towards the back of the field. We're across the field, I don't know, maybe 50 yards, maybe not even that. And I looked up at her and smiled, and she smiled at me, and then she mouthed, "I love you," to me, and I almost fell off the back of the stupid machine because I wasn't ready for that. I figured that would come when we were alone in the car, if, whenever she was ready to say it, but she said it when we were out in the field, and it totally took me by surprise. We got a big chuckle out of that. She laughed because...
Both watched him fall.
Yeah, and about the only time I almost fell off the stupid thing. And so yeah, then that was that, and that was, within weeks of meeting.
That was in days of meeting, because I was working in the fields together. We didn't work that many weeks in the field.
I don't know.
Maybe a couple weeks at the very most, but it was only like days.
Okay, whatever. That makes it even better. But like I said the last time, when you know, and it was easy. That's the thing. It was just everything about her was easy. It was easy. She was easy to talk to. She was easy to be with. There was never any demands of anything. We just whatever we decided to do, we did. It was, if I had to stay home and work, if she wasn't doing anything, she would come out and be with me, ride with me if I was in the field, and just it was just whatever. It was like, for somebody who didn't want to marry a farmer, was never going to marry a farmer, she certainly took to it real fast.
Talk about when I started farming with you. That was part of our dating years too. Was the actual.
I think the first.
Because I just wanted to be with you.
Well, the first thing I think I had you do, we used to have this self-propelled hay bind. It was pretty. I mean, it was like 12 feet wide, 14 feet wide at its widest point, but it cut 12 foot. And it was like kind of like a zero-turn mower, but it was before hydrostat and all that stuff. But it still operated like that. And it had a steering wheel on it that you used to just keep it going straight across the field. It would just you'd get a little turn out of it. And she was riding with me, and she wanted to try it, so I set her in the seat and explained it all to her, how things worked, and she took to it easier than I did, actually. But
I was older too.
And she didn't have to I was like 12, but she didn't have to unlearn anything either. She didn't know anything about operating anything like that. So for her, it was all brand new. So it was like, just do this, this, and this. And so she did just that, and that. And she drove right straight down the field and got it up, turned around, and operated it like she'd been doing it her whole life. It was quite amazing, actually, because I was expecting a little more problems, not a lot, but some, and there just wasn't any. And so that was probably your first introduction to anything that I did. There was another where we were plowing something. I can't remember what we were probably putting in alfalfa, because it was in the summer, so we were probably putting in alfalfa in August or whatever. Anyway, we're having to plow this field, and my brother was supposed to be helping me, but he decided that he'd rather go play, so he left, and we were never going to get it plowed with. I mean, we would have, but it would have taken a lot longer with one tractor. So
yeah, you doing it all. But.
So, which is pretty typical. But anyway, I taught her how to plow. Of course, now when I say this is back years ago. We were plowing with 2-cylinder John Deeres, so it's a whole lot different than what we do now. But I taught her how to do that. And the cool part about that was she's sitting up there in a bikini, barefoot, in a bikini, getting her sun time, and she's just out there driving and plowing, and we were plowing corn stubble. I remember that, and the plow would plug up every once in a while. I just told her, just lift it up and turn out, and then just sit there and wait for me. And then when I come around, I'll kick it out, and you can turn around and go. And she did, and we plowed all day, and we were together, but we weren't, you know. But it was all good because it was just something. I needed help, and she was there to help me. And honestly,
It was actually fun.
at this point, you know, I mean, I didn't know any different, but now looking back, she's always been the one there to help me. I never really got much help from anybody. But so, you know, then she started doing that. I taught her how to bale. She's baled, square bale, round bale. With the square bale, that was interesting too, because I told her to stop, and I don't remember what you did, but you didn't stop anyway. I reached across.
Didn't understand you or
I
something.
reached across her. I'm on her left side. The clutch is on her right. Now you got to remember, this is a 2-cylinder John Deere, so it's got a hand clutch. So I reach across her like this, and I grab the clutch and I throw it out, and I hit her right in the temple with my elbow. Oh, I felt so bad because I whopped her good. I'm like, oh my God, I just,
It hurt.
you know, I'm sure it did. And but she took it like a trooper, and I'm just like, I'm so sorry, you know, blah blah blah, you know, just and she shook it off, and we got going, and I'm loading wagons, and she's bailing for me. And
what were we doing when I sat on something and I ended up getting gas in my
that was
pants?
before she learned how to run the hay bind.
I just rode with you.
You rode with me, and
that's right.
And the driver's seat is on a bracket that goes over the top of the fuel tank. Well, the filling side of the fuel tank is to the left. If you're sitting on driving, it's over here. And she would sit there. Well, I had filled it all the way up, and so she's sitting on there sitting there right next to the fill cap, and the gas is sloshing out. And needless to say, it soaked her butt with gasoline. And I mean, it would be bad enough.
Adults only.
Right? It would be bad enough if it's a dude, but it was a woman, and that made it even that much worse because her everything down there is burning now. So again, here's the keys to the car, and I stayed mowing, and she got in the car and she drove home and took a shower and changed her clothes and came right back. But you didn't sit on the tank this time.
I probably just watched you go.
I can't remember, but yeah.
I didn't do that again.
But yeah, I forgot about that. That's pretty funny.
That was funny.
It's funny now. It wasn't funny then, but it's funny now. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of like, that's what I'm saying. It was interesting how somebody who never was going to marry a farmer took to it so easy and just picked it up and was just okay with it. Unloading wagons, of course, that was a funny one. She's up in the mow. It's like probably 100 degrees up there with no.
That's after we'd been mowing all day or baling all day.
And no air moving whatsoever.
I didn't like the mow.
And she's up there sweating like a dog, you know, and she doesn't sweat, so
that was not good.
So she was not liking that at all. And I'm down on the wagon, and I'm just throwing them on the elevator, running them up into the mow. We get done with that load. She comes down and she says, "I want to do what you're doing." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" And she goes, "Yes, I don't like it up there." I'm like, "Down here you have to handle every bale. Up there it's every third. I don't care. I'm not going back up there." So I'm like, "Okay." And so I went up there. She kept up. But after that load, she was done, and she never touched another bale after that the rest of her life. And that was 18 at the time.
That was the last one, wasn't
it? Yeah, 18 at the time. When we're 57 now, and she's never touched another bale because I am not doing that anymore.
Don't like it.
And I didn't care.
But I unloaded that whole wagon. I didn't quit.
You did not quit.
There's 100 bales on that, right?
It was a little more than 100, but yeah.
Okay, a little more than 100.
So, yep. But she never touched another one. She drives the tractor, but she's not going to touch bales. And I didn't care. I never asked her to in the first place. You just stepped up and stepped in and said, "I'll help." Okay. You could have quit anytime you wanted. You didn't have to help, but you did, and I appreciate it even if nobody else did. So, but yeah, that was how we.
That's pretty much our dating years was farming. I won't use the other.
Yeah, we were farming walking malls. Back in the day when malls were a big deal.
Yep, walk the malls.
We didn't have any money, so we would walk the mall and look at all the stuff we could never afford to buy.
Go get a donut.
Yeah, but we enjoyed walking. We still do. You know, they're a lot fewer far between, but we will always walk a mall. I mean, we just enjoy walking it, being around the people, and what is going on?
Okay, it got crazy.
Oh, it's an ambulance. It's ambulance. So yeah, we'd walk a mall and just be around the people and stuff, and then we would go to this donut shop and get a donut and a pint of milk or whatever, and then we'd go somewhere.
Get busy.
Do a little hand and shan before she went home. And other than that, that was pretty much it. It was, nothing exciting. I mean, that's the thing. People want to hear all this stuff, and I'm like, why? Why?
Well, it might start out boring, but maybe it'll get exciting.
Well, as things go, yeah, as we screw things up better, it gets more interesting.
Right.
That's for sure. So, but anyway, that was basically our dating. I mean, we were just two dumb kids not knowing what we're doing, but we were doing it together. Sometimes I refer that we were kids. Even when we got married, we were kids, and we just finished raising each other because hell, we didn't know anything. We thought we did, but you really don't. And but it didn't matter because we knew we were to be together. We knew we belonged together, and we couldn't get to that point fast enough. But we were also smart enough to know we were going to wait until she got through school, got through her she's a hairdresser, cosmetology, got through all of that. And then you ended up getting a job up by me, so we could get married, and you'd be working relatively the same.
Scared to death too.
Relatively the same place I was going to school.
Because remember, I was super shy, It was super scary. I had to move out on my own.
Yep.
Well, we can talk about that in another video.
That's true.
Let's stop this one, and we'll talk about that. Our first years of up in Lansing. That'll be good.
When we got married and all that.
Yeah.
Crap.
So we'll talk about that. But that's the end of our dating. It was just.
The end, but.
Well, we did a lot more stuff than that. We did walks. We were just simple.
That's why I don't see why this is so interesting, but.
But
everybody tells us we should do it, so here we are doing it. And
okay.
It'll be what it'll be.
Okay.
So, anyway.
All right. That's us. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a comment.
Ask questions, whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
all good.